Hi there, I'm Lindsay and welcome to today's class. It's going to be a ab blaster. So a short series of different Pilates exercises, performing them in all the exercises, abdominal exercises in different planes and different weight bearing positions, just so we get a nice 360 strengthening for not only for our joints and our core, but our full body will actually get a bit of a workout from it. Okay, so we're going to get warmed up first, so it's also nice to get the spine warmed up, and we're going to start in high kneeling. So high kneeling can be a little bit more challenging for the abdominals and for the posterior muscles to try and keep a nice upright position. All of a sudden our body wants to kind of collapse and hinge at the hips here. So when we're standing in, or when we're in high kneeling, we want the knees just to be hip distance apart. We're going to really activate the back of the legs and the glutes and switch on our transverse abdominals so that we're trying to keep nice and open through the fronts of the hips. We're activating that back chain of the body, and we're using this course as well to try and stop our pelvis from tilting and our body from starting to slump down. So draw through that pelvic floor. Draw the belly button back towards the spine, slide it behind the rib cage. Take that nice wide breath into the sides of the body, that nice lateral breath. And as you exhale that lateral breath, emptying through the mouth, feel as though the waist is hugging away from the waistband of your trousers. So everything's hugging into midline to try and strengthen, to try and stabilise. Reach the crown of the head nice and tall, tailbone is down. We have our hips stacked over our knees, shoulders over our hips and our head, crown of the head reaching tall to the ceiling. So our chin is ever so slightly down. We've kept that length through the back of the neck rather than poking the chin and the forehead tall to the ceiling. Nice and open across the chest, nice and open through the front of the pelvis. And we're just going to start by a little lateral bend. We're going to inhale as you exhale. Slide one hand down towards the floor, towards that knee. So we're shortening through one side, we're beginning to lengthen through the other side, and then we restack it nice and tall. And then the opposite side. Exhale. And inhale, we'll restack tall. One more side, exhale. And then inhale, we stack it tall. Exhale, shorten through one side, open through the other side of the waist, the ribs, the spine, and then bring it all the way back into centre. Clasp the hands and place them to the base of the skull. Again, we're working hard this whole time just to stay in high kneeling. Inhale the breath. As we exhale, we're going to nod the chin towards the chest and begin to roll the spine down only as far as the base of our ribs. And then we're going to bring the elbows together, start to stretch across the shoulders, now between the shoulder blades, and then we're going to open the elbows out and restack the spine nice and tall, and then begin to open into extension. We're going as far back as comfortable into your body, so we'll open a little bit more through the front of the hips, but the upper part of our spine, bringing it back into extension, and then restack nice and tall. As we exhale, chin towards the chest, stretch to the back of the neck, the upper spine, the middle spine, bringing it to the base of the rib cage, bringing the elbows together. Float the elbows apart, restack the spine, growing the spine taller, creating space in between the vertebrae, and then beginning to open all the way out. As far back as you feel comfortable, think of space, and then bring it all the way back into centre. Our last movement for our spine is our rotation. We'll imagine we put little headlights onto our hips, pointing forward. They're going to stay still and pointing forward as we inhale. Lengthen the spine tall, and then exhale. When we've got that length, rotate the spine and get little pulses. 1, 2, 3, and then inhale back into centre. Opposite side. Exhale, empty the breath. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, bring it back to centre. Keep those hips open. Exhale, wringing the waist out. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, bring it to centre. Exhale, opposite side. 1, 2, 3. Bring it back into centre. Release the hands down, release the bum down onto the heels, and walk the hands out. So when the tailbone's nice and close, walk the hands out into your shell stretch, trying to get that stretch to our lower lumbar spine. Pausing there for a moment. Relax through those shoulders. Big breath in, back of the pelvis, back of the ribs, back of the shoulders. Big breath out. Let the bum sink down onto the heels, the body onto the thighs, and into the mat. From there, we're going to float ourselves forward, and we're going to bring it into our half plank. So we're going to bring it so our shoulders are directly above our wrists, so that we, again, stack to the load of the joints. We're going to try and bring as straight a line as we can from our head to shoulders, hips, to knees. Tops of the feet just rested down on the floor. We're in the fleshy part above the knees, and again we're looking to open through the fronts of the hips, so not sticking that bum out. So squeeze the back of the legs, and the glutes. Holding it in our half plank position. Just holding it in for a little moment. We're going to draw the rib cage together underneath the body, get that sensation of the waist hanging away from the waistband, and then we're going to send the bum back towards our heels like we're going into a shell stretch, but then we're going to scoot the pelvis, tuck the tailbone, and roll the spine forward into our lengthened plank. Again, send that bum back as though we're going into a shell stretch. Scoop the pelvis, round the spine, roll the spine, create that mobility in that space. A couple more, we send the tailbone back. Tuck the tailbone, scoop the abdominals and round and roll it forward. And last one, send the tailbone back, scoop the abdominals, tuck the tailbone under, round the spine, back into our plank position. From there, we're going to lower it down towards the mat and then bring it up into our swan dive. And then inhale at the top, exhale to lower. Inhale, push the floor away, and then send the tailbone all the way back. Add that scoop that we were doing back into our plank position, lengthen plank. Lower down, elbows nice and tight into the sides of the body, working into the triceps. Tuck the pelvis, scoop the belly button. Inhale, prepare, exhale, bring it up into our swan dive. Inhale, exhale, lengthen and lay the body down. Inhale as you exhale, push the floor away into our half plank. Send that tailbone back. Tuck that tailbone under, scoop the pelvis, scoop the abdominals, roll the spine forward into that lengthened position. Shoulders down, neck is long. Control to lower, arms sliding down the sides of the body. Tuck the pelvis, scoop the belly button, lengthen the spine with the inhale, exhale, bringing it into our swan dive. Inhale at the top, exhale, lengthen and lay back down. And then from there, slide those hands a little further forward. So they're hovering just at the side of the head. Shoulders are down, legs are nice and long. Tops of the feet are just gently rested down onto the mat. Draw the kneecap up towards the hip. Feel that belly button lifted off the floor. We're going for a little bit back extension. Inhale, lengthen. As we exhale, the hands are going to stay down to begin with. We're just going to get that extension into our spine. And then slowly lower back down again. Inhale, and as you exhale, again, peeling up. Inhale and lengthen and lower. This time, we're going to float the legs up. Inhale, lengthen the legs. As you exhale, without bending at the knees, try to create space under the thighs. Reach through the legs, reach through the knees, the ankles, the toes, and then lower the two legs down. Exhale, float the two legs up. Inhale, lengthen and lay back down. Now the head's just slightly hovering off the floor. Our gaze is down towards the mat. The back of the neck is long. Or imagine we're holding a soft peach underneath our chin. So we're not extending into the neck. We've got that length in its natural position. Float to the two legs up, create the space, and lengthen and lay back down. This time we're going to hover the upper half of the body. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hover. Inhale, lower. And then exhale, lift the lower part of the body. Inhale, lower the legs. Exhale, hover the upper body. Inhale, lower. Exhale, hover the legs. Inhale, lower. Exhale, upper body extends. Inhale, lower with control. Exhale, lower body lift. Inhale, lower. Stay with alternating, or we're going to add both. Exhale, upper and lower body, hover. Inhale, lower back down. Exhale, upper and lower body, hover. Inhale, lengthen and lower back down. So we're looking for space under the chest, space under the thighs. Length through the neck, length through the legs, control back down. We've got two more as we exhale. We lift, we create that space, that lightness into our body. We lengthen and we lay the body back down. And on this last one, we exhale, we hover. We're going to hold it here. We're going to lift just a little higher. Very small movement as we pulse up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, lengthen and lift 2, last 1, slowly release it down. Slide one hand on top of the other, Bring the forehead onto the backs of the hands. Make sure the elbows are nice and wide so we can rest between the shoulders. Stabilise the upper part of the body. Make sure the feet are just about hip distance apart, toes slightly turned into each other, and take it to a gentle bottom rock. Rocking the bottom from side to side. It's nice, calming and organised and rhythmic movement. And then when you're ready, just resting into centre. Slide those hands back in line with the chest. Inhale the breath. As you exhale, push it back into our half plank. And then this time, send the bum all the way back towards our heels. Take it back into our shell stretch. Bum down onto the heels. Lengthen the arms away. Big breath in. And again, a big breath back out. Perfect. We're taking it up into 4-point kneeling this time. So in 4-point kneeling, if you find it uncomfortable onto your wrists, just feel as though you're going to take a little roll of your mat up or pop a little towel underneath to change the angle, or take it up onto fists if you find that more comfortable, or take it down onto forearms if that works for you, okay? But just listen to your own body. If we can, we're going to bring it down to our extended full arms with the wrist below our shoulder, lengthen the arms away, and just start to push the fingertips gently down into the mat, drawn up through the whole of the arm and into the shoulder. Make sure we push the floor away, we've lifted the chest and the sternum, we've not let the shoulders collapse, and keep that length into the neck again. So again, the neck is part of the spine, so keep it into its nice long lengthened position. Knees are underneath our hips, then we have that length from top of the head to the tailbone. Feel the energy of the rib cage gently drawn together underneath the body and the belly button drawn towards the spine. So from there, we're going to start taking our right hand and our left leg. We're just going to slide them away as long as they can onto the mat without the shoulders and the hips changing position. Slide them away, exhale, return, inhale, slide, exhale, return. This time we inhale, lengthen, exhale, lift, inhale, tap, exhale, draw back in. Now can you lift that arm and leg without the rib cage popping underneath the body? So imagine a soft little string tying the bottom of each side of the ribs together so that we're not going to pop and lose that connection and lose that alignment. Float it up, tap it down, draw back in. This time we slide away. We lift it up and we're going to hold. Fingers reaching one way, toes reaching the other. Inhale the breath. As you exhale, bring the elbow and the knee in. And then inhale, send. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, send. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, send. Exhale, hand and knee in. Inhale, send. One more. Elbow, knee in. Fingers and toes reach away. This time we're going to inhale, reach. As we exhale, bring the hand to the knee and resist. Press them against each other. Exhaling, exhaling, exhaling. Inhale, lengthen, pause a second. Exhale, bring them in. Resist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One last one. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring it in and resist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, reach away. Hold it there. Moment of control. Stabilize. Now we're going to take our hand out to the right hand to the right side, left leg to the left side, coming away from center, press back in. Inhale, open it out. Exhale, press back in and keep that corset working. We're looking for those muscles to try and stabilize the spine and trying to keep for one side of our waist shortening or lengthening. So we're working really hard into the waist obliques. We're taking one more out. Bring it back in, lay the hand and the foot down, slide them back in, and take a little rest. Come down onto the heels, take it into that shell stretch, inhale, and exhale, sink into just a little deeper. Okay, all again on the other side. So, we're back into our 4-point kneeling. We're going to push the floor away, lift that chest and sternum. We stacked our shoulders over wrists, our knees are underneath our hips. We have our lengthened to our spine. And if you were to visualize yourself from above, Pilates box would be nice and symmetrical from side to side. One side's not shortened or lengthened, one hip's not lower or higher. So find that nice strong scaffolding, which are our bones. Set them all up so our body can work in balance. So we start by our left hand and our right leg, sliding away with the inhale, exhale, return. And all we're doing here is we're just taking two limbs slightly off the mat, so although we're in contact, we're just taking the stability and the pressure off them. So we're sending that message from our body to our brain to say, this is what we need to do to stabilise in this position. So this is a lower level position because we're still in contact. Now we're going to make that a little bit harder, add another layer on and add a little lift, and tap, and lift, and tap, and lift, and tap. So we're coming back, we're getting that little bit of stability, but we're coming away from the mat, and we tap. And can you do this without changing the shape of the Pilates box, without swaying from side to side, or hitching a hip, or a shoulder? And on the next one, we float up, and we hold. Stabilise, moment of control. Fingers and crown of the head reaching one way, tailbone and toes reaching the opposite way. Now we're going to try our balance, trying to stabilise, but as we add movement, we inhale, reach, exhale to centre. Try and keep that spine long, so as we come into centre, we're not rounding the spine. Keeping the tailbone reaching away from the crown of the head. Pushing away, drawing it in, and lengthen away. One more. Exhale to centre, inhale to lengthen. Now we exhale, we press the hand against the opposite knee as we exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling, exhale. 5, resist. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, exhale. This is our last one. 5, resist. 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Slide away. Moment of control. Inhale. Exhale, stabilise, wrap the core, sit belly button towards the spine. Now we inhale, we open it out. Exhale, press to centre. Inhale, away from midline. Exhale, press back into midline. Inhale, away from midline. Exhale, press back in. Lengthen the arm and the legs and slide away. Hug everything into centre. Last one, we open it out. We press back in. We tap them down. We slide them in. Bum down onto the heels, walk the hands away. Nice big breath in, nice big breath back out. Perfect, and then when you're ready, we're going to bring it into sitting. So shift over into sitting to begin with, okay? So we're going to sit nice and tall on the bony parts of our bum, our sit bones. We're looking to stack and load your joints again, so we've got the sit bones, our ribs, our shoulders, the crown of the head, everything's in a nice alignment. If you feel that you're slumped down a little bit, again, pop a towel underneath those sit bones just to lift up and make that angle a little bit easier. But we're going to pop the hands underneath the backs of thighs, and we're just going to roll off the sit bones. Feel the sit bones as though they're sliding down towards our heels, and we're trying to get as much space through the fronts of our hips as the back of the pelvis sinks down towards the floor. Shoulders are nice and relaxed, and then round it forward and stack it back up. So again, we're activating those core muscles, we're trying to stretch through the lower lumbar spine, but we're firing, we're bringing awareness to the areas that we're going to work when we take it down onto the mat again. Tuck the tailbone, not that this isn't work, while we're just getting that nice stretch and peel it all the way back up. Use those postural muscles to stack and use that body awareness system to know when you're back into your starting position and you're not finishing gauge time. One more. We're going to round, we're going to roll it down, we're going to hold it here. Float the two hands off. If you need to, keep the left hand on, just keep the right hand off, and we're just going to slide the right leg away, slide the right leg in. The two hands are off, we're just holding there. If you need that extra little bit of stability, pop the left hand onto the back of the leg. Left leg, left hand's not moving. One more, slide the leg away, draw the leg back in. Now the right hand. Inhale, reach, exhale, press it down. Inhale, reach, exhale, press it down. Now as the arm creeps up, the shoulder doesn't creep up towards the ear. We don't hitch that shoulder. The shoulder blade stays down. We float the arm up, we float the arm down. Hug the backs of the thighs, round and restack. Other side now. So lengthen the spine, tuck the tailbone, scoop the abdominals, roll it back to the back of the pelvis. The belly button, the waistband sinking down towards the floor. We've opened as much as possible through the fronts of those hips. The right hand can stay on if you wish. Float the left hand off. If you want to make this a little bit more challenging, take the right hand off as well, but the right leg and hand stay still. So we've stabilised one side of our body. We're going to mobilise the lower left side and then glide it back in. Push the heel away and then draw the heel back in. It follows the same path each time. So we're not letting the knee or the heel or the foot collapse into centre or out to the side. We're thinking alignment and laying down good motor patterns. We'll do one more as we slide the heel away. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale, float the left arm up. Exhale, press it back down. Float the left arm up. Exhale, press it back down. Shoulder blades are slid down the back of the body. They're not creeping up. Shoulders are not hanging off the ears. We're not hitching one side up. Float it, glide it down. Hold the backs of the thighs again, round and restack. Use the hands now on the fronts of the legs and just give that nice stretch. Adjust yourself onto your mat if you need to find space behind you, and then from there we're just going to roll it down towards the floor. Hug the knees to the chest, give a little roll from side to side and ease out that lower lumbar spine. Perfect. From there we're going to take our two legs up to tabletop. We're going to cradle our head into our hands, ready for our chest lift. So we want our pelvis to be nice and neutral. So if you think of the hips and the pubic bone, form a little triangle. That triangle is nice and level. In the centre of that triangle, imagine a little marble balance, and we're going to try and keep that marble still and stable. We've got our small natural curve at lower lumbar spine, and we've cradled our head into our hands. So as you round forward, just check that that pelvis stays nice and neutral. We've maintained that curve at the lower lumbar spine, and then keeping the head supported, slowly lengthen and lay back down. Elbows just in our peripheral vision as we round forward with the exhale. As we inhale, we lay back down. Exhale, round forward. Inhale, lay back down. Last one. Exhale, round forward. Stay here. If you need to take this down a level, feel free to pop the head down and hands down onto the mat. So we've got the floor stabilised on us. We're not working through the fronts of the abdominals as much. If you prefer and if you can, stay up here. We're going to go for single toe tap. The left leg is going to stay still, and this right leg, our thigh bone, is going to move away from our spine as we open through the hips, and then it's going to come back up to the spine. The knee doesn't change position. It's just this thigh bone moving away from the body as we inhale, lower and tap, exhale, scooping it back up. This hip to rib position doesn't change. It stays nice and stable because we stabilise our spine. It's not curving and flattening. It's staying in its natural alignment. We have one more. This time as we tap, we're going to slide the leg away and bring it back up. Lower and tap. Slide the leg away. Slide the leg away. Bring it back up and rest it down. Hug those knees in. Ready for the other side. So, cradle the head in the hands, we have our knees over our hips, our shins are parallel to the floor at tabletop. We're going to inhale to lengthen, prepare. Exhale, if you're rounding forward, bring yourself forward, otherwise the head is down and the hands are down by the side of the body. We stabilise, we've focused on our hip to rib position, we're drawing the belly button towards the spine, sliding behind the rib cage, our pelvis is neutral, our hips and our pubic bone nice and level. The right leg's going to stay still as we inhale, lower and tap the left leg, exhale to bring it back up. Left leg lowers, left leg lifts. The spine doesn't move, just the leg. Hip to rib position stays the same. Our belly button's drawn down towards the back of the spine and up behind the rib cage. We're not bulging out onto the abdominals. And we're thinking about that closure of our rib cage. Tap in, draw back up. On the next one, we lower, we slide, we bring it back up. Single toe tap, slide the leg away, bring it back up. One more, single toe tap, slide the leg away, bring it back up to tabletop, and then lower the head down, hug your knees to your chest, and give a little roll from side to side. Perfect. From there, we're going to take the two legs. We're going to pop the two legs up to tabletop again. We're going to cradle the head into the hands. I'm going to add a little bit of rotation. So we're going to start with just the upper part of our body. We're going to round forward with the exhale. We're going to take it inhale and then exhale to one side. Inhale, centre. Exhale the other side. Inhale, centre. And exhale down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round and forward. Inhale, pause. And then exhale, we rotate to one side. Inhale, centre, exhale the other side, inhale, centre, and release it down. Now we're going to stay up there for our crisscross. Inhale to prepare, exhale to round it forward. Bring it to the tips of the shoulder blades. Again, head is cradled in the hands, chin slightly down, elbows in our peripheral vision. As we cross our right shoulder, shoulder to our opposite left hip. We're going to exhale the breath and send that right leg away. Hold it for 3, hold it for 2, hold it for 1, zip it back into center. Same side. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, right shoulder to left hip. Reach that right leg away. Hold for 3, hold for 2, hold for 1, bring it back in. This time, if you wish, we're making a little bit more challenge. Stay with the level we've done if you prefer. Inhale, center. Exhale, cross it over. And if you wish, we're going to straighten that left bent leg and then bend it back down for 1. Straighten up for 2, bend it back down, straighten up for 3, bend it back down, zip it back into center and rest it down. Perfect. Same again on the other side. So square off the Pilates box, pelvis neutral. Inhale to prepare and lengthen, exhale, round it forward. So we inhale center, exhale left shoulder, right hip, we're holding for 1, holding for 2, hold it for 3, bring it all the way back into center. Cross over that exhale, hold it there for 1, lengthen that leg for 2, and for 3, and bring it back into center. On this one, if you wish, we cross it over, either holding or we straighten and bend, and straighten and bend, and one more, and straighten and bend, and zip it all the way back in. And rest it down. Hug those knees in, give a little roll from side to side. Place one foot down, place the other foot down. This time our feet are hip distance apart. So we think about the tripods and the soles of our feet, base of the big toe, base of the little toe, centre of the heel. Those 3 points make a nice tripod. We should be balanced on the tripod. We're not rolled out to the side or rolled into centre. So if you think about the tripod on the camera, it has to be nice and balanced in order to get that stable shot. Okay, so we've got our pelvis into neutral, our knees are in alignment with our toes, our chest is nice and open, our shoulders are glided down as you walk your fingers down to the toes and create that length and that space. Bring your heels as close to your sit bones as feels comfortable, lengthen those toes away, and we're just going to peel the spine off, 1 vertebrae at a time, okay? So like a string of pearls, one has to come up after the other, you can't skip further ahead. So we're going to inhale. As you exhale, scoop the tailbone up and then feel the back of the pelvis, and now just the waistband, the belly button sinking down. Now feel the waistband and then start to feel the bottom of the ribs, and then wheeling the spine and the ribs up off the mat, and then when you get to the top, using that back chain of the body and squeezing through the back of the legs and the glutes, we're wrapping that corset, we're getting that closure through our ribs and really trying to open through the fronts of our thighs. If you wish, you're going to take your arms nice and tall to the ceiling. So nice and vertically stacked, stabilise the arms. That's just taking off a little bit of stability. If you need them, keep them down onto the floor. From there, we're going to sink the bum down, press, sink it down, press back up. Now as you lower and press back up, on the press back up, feel that zip up through the pelvic floor. On that press back up and that exhale, feel that connection as the rib cage wraps, as the corset hugs everything into center. As the back of the legs and the glutes press the pelvis taller to open through the fronts of the hips, and this whole corset working hard to stabilize into center and to tone. Press. We have 3 more. Press. 2 more. Press. 1 more. Press it up. Send your arms back with the inhale as far back as you feel comfortable, and then as you exhale, melt the chest and the sternum, and 1 vertebrae at a time, begin to lay your spine down to the floor. Begin to stretch and open in between each vertebrae. Send the back of the pelvis long. Send the tailbone away, pelvis neutral, back into your natural curves, reaching your arms away, lengthen your legs away, and then from there, send the soles of the feet away, and then just take a little full body stretch again if you wish. So take your arms overhead and just lengthen. Perfect. From there, we're just going to roll yourself over onto your side. So far we've done some abs in high kneeling, in 4-point kneeling, in prone in supine, and now we're going for our side lion, okay? So we're going to bring it up onto our forearm. So we're going to bring it so our shoulder is directly above our elbow. Our forearm is pressed down into the mat. We want to think about the length into the neck and not let our body just collapse down. And we're trying to think again about that Pilates box, so the sides of the body is just not collapsing into the floor. So bring our sides of our Pilates box nice and even. Wrap that corset, strengthen, stabilize. We're just going to start with our knees just in half for a half plank. So pop the hand down onto the floor to begin with. Inhale, float the bum up. Exhale, press that pelvis forward. And then if you can, we're going to float that top arm tall to the ceiling. We're going to open across the chest, open across the collarbone, reach that arm up. Now feel as though the inner thighs are drawn together. We zipped up through the pelvic floor. And again, you're squeezing through the back of the legs and the glutes to get that nice open position through the front of the hips. The rib cage is hugging together. And then from there, we're just going to lower the hip down and press back up. Lower the hip down and press back up. Lower the hip down, press back up. Two more, lower the hip down, press back up. One more, lower the hip down, press back up. Hold for 3, hold for 2, hold for 1. One little stretch, gaze up towards the hand, follow the gaze with the hand as you reach it up and over. Stretch to the side of the body, follow the gaze in the hand nice and tall, and rest it down. Perfect. From there, we're going to work into those obliques a little bit more, and we're going to take it over into our plank position. So we have our forearms onto the mat. Our elbows again are below our shoulders, and we're just going to tuck our toes under. Now we're looking for 10 toes to be tucked under. Don't forget about the little toe hanging on the end there. Make sure it gets as much contact, and we're always using our 10 toes independently to try and help us strengthen, stabilize, and bring that awareness to the feet. So we're going to connect the core, draw the rib cage together, and just bring it up into our plank position. Okay? If you need to stay with a stable plank, if you can, we're bringing those feet together, we're zipping up through the pelvic floor, opening through the fronts of the hips again, bringing the pelvis into neutral, drawing those shoulders down. Now we're going to do our hip dips from our plank position. So we're going to sit one hip down towards the side, bring it to centre, other side. And just switching from side to side. Keep the forearms pressed into the mat, keep the chest and the sternum lifted, keep that length from top of the head to the tailbone. We're going to do one more each side, tip it one way and tap it the other, bring it to centre and then pop the knees down, walk the hands back, take a little shell stretch and then we're going to do the hip dips on the other side. So you can flip over the other side, I will go this way so you can still see me. We're into our half plank position. So we stacked our ankles, we stacked our knees, we stacked our hips. We've lengthened our spine, we've lifted that underside up our waist to try and make the two sides of our Pilates box even and our spine in nice alignment. Forearm is pushing the floor away to lift our body up off the mat, and we have stacked our shoulder over our elbow, so we've loaded those joints and trying to keep that nice alignment. Okay, so shoulders down, top hand in front to begin with. Inhale, float the bum, exhale, press the pelvis forward. Have a little check. Back of the legs and the glutes are working hard to press forward to open through the fronts of the hips. Body's not natural corset, it's hugging everything away from the waistband of the trousers. Belly button drawn towards the spine, slide behind the rib cage, and that energy drawing the bottom of the rib cage together. Float that top hand up. Now we've got one hand pushing into the floor, the other hand reaching to the ceiling to open across the chest. And then from there we're going to take it to our little taps. We lower our hip down, press back up. Inhale, lower, exhale, press back up. Stay stationary if you wish. Pop the hand down by the side of the body if that makes it easier for you as well. Otherwise, think about that opening from one side to the other. Our length from our knees to the crown of the head. And our last one, tap it down, press back up, hold it there for 3, hold it for 2, hold it for 1. Perfect. From there, if you can, take the gaze tall to the ceiling. Inhale, reach. And then take that nice stretch over, follow the eyes with the hands, open it all the way back out, rest it down, and rest it down. Perfect, let's stretch out. We're going to bring ourselves into sit-in. You can take sit-in either staggered legs, that's the harder version, because we're looking for the two bony parts of our bum, our sit bones to stay down. We're once again looking for our centre of our body and our spine to be nice and vertical and not shifted over to one side. And we're looking for the two sides of our Pilates blocks and our waist to be nice and even. So if this is too challenging for you, try out cross legs into this position. If this is too challenging for you, take it to frog's legs, or pop a little towel or roll underneath the sit bones and just help to tilt that position of the pelvis and get that spine and the pelvis in its best place. Okay, so choose whichever one works for you. Find that nice position, and then we're going to take our hands down to the mat, lengthen through the spine, draw the shoulders down away from the ears. We're going to open across the chest as we start to walk the fingers out. From there, we're going to take one hand as we inhale, reach the hand and the crown of the head tall. Exhale, soften through the opposite shoulder, shorten through the side of the waist as we open and stretch to the opposite side. And then float the hand and the crown of the head tall, rest it down. Other side, inhale, exhale. So we're stretching, we're opening, and we're just trying to create that space. We're trying to release. Take it tall, bring it down. One more, inhale, reach. Exhale over, reach the hand on the crown of the head and rest it down. Perfect. If you were staggered, shift them the opposite way. If you're cross them the opposite way. If you're frog's legs, you're already symmetrical, so you can stay exactly as you are. But for everybody, make sure we have found those bony parts of the bum again, the sit bones, that we've drawn up to that pelvic floor, we've lengthened the spine, we've lifted the rib cage out of our pelvis, and we've evened the two sides of our body. Take the hands onto the mat, walk them down a little bit wider to create that space, and then we inhale and lengthen. Exhale, reach the arm over. Inhale, take it tall. Exhale, rest it down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften one shoulder, shorten through the waist as we lengthen through the other. Inhale, tall, rest it down. Floating the hand up, reaching it over, taking it tall, and resting it down. Perfect. From there, we're just going to shift the two legs in front, take it to little wind wipers, gently swishing from side to side, ease it out. Perfect. And then from there, pop one leg in, send the other leg away. We're just going to stretch out a little bit more. Inhale nice and tall. As we exhale, rotate to the straight leg and reach out. Try to sink down as close to that thigh as you can. Nice big breath in. As you exhale, sink into just a little deeper. We're trying to reach as much to the outside of that leg. Doesn't matter how far you can go down, but to the reaching to the outside just gives that extra little bit of rotation. They'll stretch through the back of the inside of the body a little deeper. And then hands onto the legs, slowly restack the spine, bring it all the way back into sitting. Send that leg away, swap over to the other one. Nice and tall in the sit bones, lift the ribcage out of the pelvis. Inhale, find that length and space. So we always find the space in the spine before we rotate. Exhale, rotate it and fold it over. Taking it to the outside of that leg. Big breath in. As you exhale, try to sink down into just a little deeper. Inhale, exhale, sinking down into just a little deeper. And then slowly restack the spine. Bring it all the way tall into centre. Finish with a little stretch of the inner thighs, our little butterflies. We can hold on to our feet or our ankles, whatever is right for you. Make sure that we lift the chest and we don't round it down. The minute the shoulders round and we round that spine, we've closed off everything internal. So not only the respiratory system, and we can't take a full breath, but the digestive system and all those internal organs. So really lift and create that space and just give small little pulses. Little dynamic butterfly stretches, nice lengthened spine, shoulder blades gliding down, space to take those full recovery breaths in and softly release that breath back out. Perfect. And then from there, you can finish, bring your legs into sit-in. We're just going to finish with 3 nice big breaths. So when you're ready, draw the breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. 2 more. Nice big breath in. Fill the breath coming through the nose, filling into the lungs and the sides of the body, expanding nice and wide and full. And then as you exhale, softly blow the breath through the mouth, empty away the breath. We're also emptying away the tension, the toxin and the stresses. And our last breath, we're drawing in a full, calm energized breath through the nose. Take that breath into the body. Calm the mind, the body and the central nervous system. And then slowly and softly blow the breath away through the mouth. A mindful exhale. Get rid of anything that doesn't serve us any longer. Bring ourselves back to here and now. And that is you. Thanks so much for joining. If you want to see any more classes, you can check out some on either Instagram, Facebook, or on the YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for joining. Bye bye.